r/AskReddit. What's the dumbest thing you've ever heard? My friend thinks that hibernation is a hoax because she's seen pictures of bears in the snow. The first picture she showed me was of a polar bear. This is amazing because what would be the point of a hibernation hoax? Big Bear is taking you for a ride, my friend. Had a friend over years ago and we were talking about my plasma TV. He said that he would never buy a plasma TV because he didn't want to have to replace the plasma when it ran out. I didn't correct him. I thought it would be best if he didn't buy a plasma TV. Somewhere in the near future. Man, damn Holo TV ran out of plasma again. I'll have to run down to the Costco to buy more plasma canisters. They've really gone up in price ever since the human-dolphin war. My mum once asked if they had wind in Canada. Canadian here, can confirm we have wind. We have to make it ourselves though, particularly today. Not enough people are blowing, so the wind is pretty slow. At the taxpayer's expense, no doubt. My brother used to be a park ranger. One time a lady asked him how long it took for a deer to become a moose. He said about 7 years. Right after it reaches level 34. When I did tattoos, I had a guy come into the shop that wanted Mr. 113 on his wrist. Not really all that out of the ordinary. We get it drawn up. My co-worker placed it and she starts to do the tattoo. As soon as she starts, the guy screams in pain and jumps up. What the hell is in that thing? Is there a needle in there? That sheet hurts. What? This guy was in his 30s or 40s. How do you not know how tattoos are done? He said, I don't know. Just thought it was some permanent ink or something. The guy went outside for almost an hour to smoke, and I guess hype himself up. He got the outline done at least, but couldn't take the pain anymore and didn't get it filled. Still can't believe he didn't know tattoos were done with a needle. Aren't tattoos just lick, stick and peel? Also scratch and sniff if I'm not mistaken. I was in a college class, and we were talking about agriculture. Me being from a farming town, I was explaining how important certain aspects of farming are interesting and super important. This one student was not budging, and she was refusing whatever I was saying. I asked her why she was so against farming, and she said, I think we should get rid of all of them. We don't need them. I asked her if she liked to eat, and she said we would be fine. We could just get food from the stores. I asked her how she planned on getting that food into the store. She responded with, well, they already make all the food in the store as is, right? Why do we need farms? They're stealing money from our local businesses. So in a nutshell, she thought everything, flowers, fish, chicken, loaf bread, and like everything, was made in the stores, and that's why we don't need farms. I've read a lot of stupid things in this thread, but this one wins. Just how is that even logistically possible? Are all stores portals to extra farm-sized dimensions? It was even better when she asked, well, how does the food get there? Then I had to explain why semi-trucks were on the highways. If you have sex with a pregnant girl, you can change the biological dad to you. We went to a prestigious school and he wasn't dumb. Everyone looked at him like an idiot. You reminded me of my friend in high school who thought having sex while pregnant causes twins. Oxygen doesn't come from trees, it comes from the air. Most oxygen comes from algae. Came to mention this, we're developing algae that produce a lot of what basically amounts to vegetable oil. It's a win-win. Eventually we might have vast farms sucking up our big CO2 mess and converting it back to burnable fuels with the help of the sun. The dead algae could then be carbonized and buried to make the whole process carbon negative. My old housemate thought that Down syndrome was something you could get from vaccines. She wasn't anti-vax. She was talking about vaccines and said, I don't get why parents are afraid to get their kids vaccinated. The chances of catching Down syndrome are really low. I mean, technically she's correct. Freshman English class. We were reading Lord of the Flies at the same time the movie Alive, about a soccer team's plane crashing in the Andes Mountains, came out. Since both were about groups being stranded in the politics society building that results, we were discussing the movie in class one day. When discussing, their resorting to cannibalism as they remain stranded on the mountain. This one girl asked, why didn't they just order Domino's or something and have it delivered? The proper response should have been, only Pizza Hut delivered to that location, and Pizza Hut is shit. A girls in math class didn't understand fractions. We got down to this because the teacher was explaining something else pretty simple that she didn't understand. So broke it down and figured out she didn't get fractions. Well, that's a little odd, but with a minute of explanation she should get it. Nope. Teacher asked, what is larger, 1/2 or 1/3? The girl said 3 is more than 2, so 1/3 is larger. Teacher drew 2 circles on the board, divided one in 2 and the other in 3 parts. Which is bigger? Girl gave the same answer. Teacher erased both circles, grabbed 2 pieces of paper, ripped one in half, one in thirds, held up a piece of both. Which one is larger? Girl pointed out the 1/3 piece. Forget that, there are more piece. And he binned the rest, holding up the initial 2 pieces again. Just look at the size. Which one is larger? Girl pointed out the smaller one again. Defeated, teacher lowered his arms and walked back to his desk. Please take no offense in this, but are you familiar with the words and concepts of smaller and larger? He asked, as this class turned more Sesame Streety by the second. The girl said she did. Teacher pointed outside. See those trees? Which is larger, right or left? Left, girl said, and she was right. The left tree was about 5 meters taller. Then which piece of paper is larger? Holding them up again, girl pointed out the smaller piece, and the teacher walked out of the classroom. I'm bad at math, but this nearly gave me a nosebleed. This isn't even math, it's just spatial recognition, a skill learned by 3-year-olds. Maybe the girl in the story was 2. But one 3-year-old is bigger than one 2-year-old, right? So 1/3 is bigger than 1/2. Wait, you've been to Indiana? Do they really speak English? I am from Indiana and we do, but only on Thursdays. I drive for Uber on the weekends, and one time a girl who was in her late 20s told me that I was making her uncomfortable. I haven't said a word the whole trip, so I asked how I could make the situation better. She said she didn't like how I kept playing with the fidget stick in the middle of my car. I drive a manual. She then told me that I didn't need to use that because her car didn't have that, and claimed to be a mechanic. Elderly lady my mom knew refused to ever drink Colombian coffee because she was convinced that they secretly put cocaine in it. If that was the case, every store would be sold out of it as soon as they got it in. Idiot. I've never understood people who think that strangers will just give drugs away. That shit is expensive. Growing up, I was led to believe that shady guys would constantly be trying to give me drugs. No such luck. Not having drugs offered to me like I was promised back in elementary school was a huge letdown. A girl I used to work with was pissed that her boyfriend only bought me 12 roses. He wouldn't even go all out for a dozen. What a jerk. Maybe her parents were bakers. Me. What weighs more? A pound of bricks or a pound of feathers? Coworker. Bricks. It took me about 15 minutes to explain the answer to him, which included me drawing it out on paper and using a kitchen scale with different items for examples. I drank so much that night. Had a friend tell me you can only get salmonella from salmon. One time when I was in algebra my junior year of high school, I overheard a group of girls trying to convince their friend the plural form of the word ghost is ghost. At first I thought they were joking, but the more they talked the more I realized they were serious. Girl 1. But I always thought it was ghosts. Girl 2. Are you stupid? It's ghost. Like look at all those ghosts. That's your daily dose of the Reddit medic. Remember to subscribe for daily videos. Like for 1 week of good luck. This is the Reddit medic. It's a goddamn pandemic. Sub for daily videos. And don't forget to spread it. I'm AskReddit. Peace.